AITAH for refusing to buy Christmas presents for my now ex's children? I'm F37, a waitress at a tourist trap in town. I love my job. I typically make $150 plus a night, but have made $300 to $550 on exceptionally busy nights, events/nearby concerts and entertainment on site, because the owners at the restaurant are also event managers and bring lots of business. My now ex-boyfriend Gary, M39, hasn't been supportive at all. He said something a few months ago and I was offended and told him. Things are no longer the same between us. He's not supportive because he's kind of mad that I have a career as an executive and thinks this job isn't up to his level. Ever since I announced that I would be cutting down on expenses, Gary has been nagging about me being cheap and exaggerated. As a backstory, I did have a 9-to-5 job and I left it years ago to launch my own business. I'm a business owner now and things have worked out. I completed all pending client projects last September and have signed an agreement with a handful of bigger companies, so I'll be basically working on a retainer. I'll be back to work in January. My waitressing job has allowed me to earn good money without getting mentally drained. Please let me add that Gary has a humble family background and so do I. Snobbish comments about my side job are not gonna erase that. I'm currently making 6x what he makes because in all this years, the promises we made about building a future came down to me sucking it up and working my ass off as he made excuses for being unsuccessful. He never finished a course, never wanted to pay for anything to improve his education. And then I found out that he lied about his social sciences degree and his master. I felt horrible because he lied from the start but still tried not to judge. So I'm also learning to just enjoy the money that I'm making after years of restraining myself. Gary has been asking me for help since he lost his job. I'm fed up. His reasons aren't clear. He just said his boss saw him as a threat and he suddenly got fired, but refused to go to a lawyer. His brother told me the other day that Gary loves to sleep in late and that he can't count on him for anything because he's lazy. This caused aggravation for me as we don't live together, but I felt like now this? His brother says Gary has always been like this and he's a liar. This year, he's asking me to buy his kids presents for Christmas. I didn't agree. He said he knows I can afford it, literally texted me I know you can afford it, after I said it's not gonna be possible. I don't want to do this because he's been criticizing my side job and it feels wrong to let him benefit from it. I said I will always give them a gift from me but nothing more. I will not buy a batch of gifts like I'm their Santa Claus or on his behalf. I can't describe my rage right now. His face kind of contorted and he made a huge silence and looked down to the floor when we had a face-to-face conversation about this, like when someone is extremely angry or offended. I gave him an ultimatum. He can't be jobless by next week. I can't do it. I need to know that I have a partner who works as hard as I do. Then I started thinking harder about this. I've had the same complaints for years. He's very unstable when it comes to holding a job and all his reasoning sounds like a fantasy to me. Maybe it's because I learned that he lied about his degree that I have a hard time trusting him. I called him yesterday and ended the relationship. I know I was abrupt and maybe guided by my rage. When he tried to pressure me, I told him to sell all his hobby stuff. I also opened my eyes to the fact that I've always bought presents for his kids and he hardly ever gives mine anything. It's not about the gifts, it's basically about please don't pressure me when I don't ask you for things for my children. He called yet again, saying that I think I'm better than him and saying things towards me flirting my way into big tips. I work at a family-oriented restaurant. This is very offensive. I reminded him of his blue-collar family background and asked where is all this snobbery coming from. I just wanted to make him think harder before opening his mouth, but his voice was shaking and basically he said he wanted to self-harm. I'm worried now. AITAH?